So we were so excited to know, oh, we're going to take this hour-long trip to Bessemer, which is 20 miles away, but you know, it was well worth it.
And when you were there, you saw everybody. You stopped at every household. You saw all of your aunts,
cousins, everybody.
We could not leave without stopping at Enoch's house.
Matter of fact,
Little Laney.
You know what your daddy would be doing? Your granddaddy, right?
He hired someone to take us. We didn't have a car. He hired
Maybe that's why the trip took so long.
It took so long because
Mr. Miles didn't drive over 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that was in the fast lane.
And all of us was piled in the back seat, you know.
But it was important for him to make sure that we stayed connected with our family.
Okay, you want to say that?
Just going to Bessemer, I remember your grandfather, Enoch Brown, when we would drive down his street, he would be sitting on the front porch with his starched shirt, you know, his pants and his shiny shoes. You know, everybody had to lace up Stacey Adams or whatever they wore then, but you know, they were ready for, okay, our cousins are coming. So we got to be ready for them. And another part that that wherever you go to a Brown's house, you can look for it and expect it, and that's what? Food.
Yeah. I was going to ask that. Last time that James spoke, he said every house you had to eat.
At every place. Regardless of what you'd had prior to getting there, you had to eat something.
He said that.
That's right.
I laughed, and I don't remember for sure, because I, you know, with not really having all the kids, but everybody talks about Little Annie and Big Annie. And I think James was saying, I don't know if it was one of them, but he said he didn't realize as a child you're going to eat at every house, so he got full at one house.
Until he caught on.
Didn't want to eat. And I think he said Little Annie or Big Annie.
It was it was an offense to them if you didn't eat something. Right. And there was no carry out in those days.
No.
No. You had to sit down.
You had to down something.
Yeah, eat something. A popsicle, or you had to eat something before you
piece
left
of
the house.
cake, some ice cream.
Because they knew you were coming, so they
soda.
prepared for you.
Okay.
You know, to share that with you.
It was an event. For them, it was as though the president was coming, and it was just, you know, your little nieces and nephews from Hooper City. But for them, it was an event, and for us, it was an event.
It was a big
It just
thing.
made it special
Because we were
to
going
see family.
out of town to Bessemer.
Yeah, Bessemer was the place back then. I used to go and spend, Willa Mae and I used to go and spend just about every summer with Aunt Paul. In the summer, she just let us go up to the little corner store, get our little kisses or whatever. We just had fun. She was willing to please us. Whatever we wanted, you know, she didn't have any children at the time. And she treated us just like we were her children.
This is Aunt Poe.
Aunt Poe.
That's
Bertha Hutchins.
Like, we always, I remember her, if I see her pull it up, I run in. Granddad ain't cousin Bertha outside.
In her truck.
Yeah.
She got a red car.
Absolutely.
She sure did.
Yeah. And one other thing, you know, that was embedded in us is you don't have to have a lot, but what you have, you know, put and get the most use of whatever it is. Because, you know, we're all from... You know what? I have a brother who said he didn't know we were poor until
How poor we were.
How poor we were until he enlisted in the service. You know, and got to go various places and be exposed to people. He said, but regardless of how poor he didn't know we were, we always had something to share with others. And those others had less than we had, but we didn't know that we were living in poverty because we had so much love that overcame those meager means.
My uncle said this morning, he said, you know, as a family, he said, we've done a lot of things, but we ain't never been hungry.
That's right. That's true. That's so true.
And as poor as we were, and you know, there's an expression, poor as church mice. We were probably there or below, but we were never poor in spirit. We never had the mentality of poverty. We always had a mentality of richness because it was a richness of spirit, of family. You knew who you were. You knew that you were loved. You knew that you had everything that you needed. You didn't. There was no focus on what you didn't have. There was a focus on what you had, and what that was family.
And just Mama says, what? Use what you got.
My mother's
get what you want.
Use what you got. It didn't matter what happened. Mom, we need to go to the store to get some glue. Well, for a project. for a school project. She may not have had money to send you to the store. Use what you got. So we did the flour paste.
And the product turned out just as well.
One thing that instilled in us
with flour and
water to make a glue paste.
Or syrup. Or syrup.
Yeah.
We would use the syrup.
Whatever, more than just for cornbread.
So as you said, use what you got. And because we learned early to use what we had, we didn't realize that we didn't have a lot because we always
had what we needed.
Yeah. Our parents were resourceful. They taught us to be resourceful. And as a result, you don't really find a lot of us running around talking about, oh man, I don't have this, I don't have, we take what we have and do what we need. Do what we must with it.
That's true.
That's,
and we don't
I
know.
guess that's part of the Brown mantra.
I'm sure you've left home many days without anything in your pocket, but you didn't have the attitude that your pockets were empty.
Right.
So that's what they instilled in us. Act like it even though it's not. Just act like it. Speak it into being.
Amen.
And give it time, and guess what? It happens.
But work.
Oh, you got to work.
Now, work was one thing that you did. Everybody learned how to do everything. Because you don't know what your situation will ever be. You can't control it all the time. So what you need to do is to learn how to be what you need to at the time you need it.
And somehow it worked well. You managed what you had.
Right.
So you didn't know that it wasn't what others would have considered the best, but it was the best we had. So guess what? So we put it out there like it was A1 prime whatever.
And that project with the flour paste got the A, just like the one with the Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
Would have. Yeah. So learn to use what you have.
Yeah, we learned how to work. That's for sure.
It was not an option.
It wasn't. You're right. It
and
wasn't
education. There were two things they stressed. One was education, and another was work.
Work ethic and education.
Work ethic, education, and above all, family. Bringing an F home, a D home,
That's not
a
acceptable.
C home,
No.
a C, taking
It's not
it home.
acceptable.
A C was really bad.
A C,
That was bad.
I mean, if you got a C, I'll be real honest, I didn't.
You didn't get a big
So
if
if you got a C, you
want to stay play for the next 6 weeks.
You wanted to stay at school.
Because an A, B, or C was the least amount. A D was what? What did D mean?
You don't have
were
dumb,
and F.
A is for food. D is for dummies, and F is for fools.
So you didn't want to be labeled a D or an F. Because you'd be labeled a fool, and your mother would beat you half to death. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And you wasn't going outside for the next 6 weeks.
She said you didn't have to go to school to make a fool.
That's right.
And the emphasis on education was important to both our mother and father. Neither graduated high school until, actually Mom went back later and got her GED. My dad said his education ended at 2nd grade because of his family situation. He was the oldest of the 6 children when his mother died and his father left. So he was there and he assisted with the upbringing of his siblings. So that meant that was the end of his formal education. He had a 2nd grade education, but you'd never know it because he was an intelligent man, and it just lets you know that education does not end simply because you can't go into a school building. It has to be
life lessons.
Yeah, it has to be something that's in you to reach beyond what someone else has defined as your limit. But he finished 2nd grade, but he schooled all of us. My father was the one. Yeah, he helped us with our homework. Oh, he was our kindergarten teacher. And
reading Sunday paper.
He had
in the 1st grade.
He had in his head whoever was now. Doris was next to me, or was next older than me. Each child coming up had to be able to read the book of the child ahead of them. So Doris is 2 grades ahead of me. So if I couldn't read her book, then obviously I wasn't ready. So that was he always
that was the standard.
That was the standard. Mm-hmm. Now, if the child was 5 or 6 years ahead of you, boy, that was tough. But you always had to read at least a grade or 2 or
above your own grade.
Above your own grade, and that also meant being able to do all of the
math,
the math, and whatever there was, you had to be able to do it. And he stayed there with you, and he went over your homework with you, and just made sure that you had all of the elements that you needed to succeed in school. Mm-hmm. On a second grade education.
Yeah.
And most people will say, oh, well, you know, I didn't finish school, so I can't help them with that. Yeah, you can do something. You can encourage them if it's not anything more than just sitting there with them while they do that. You can do that.
Yeah, let them know you're interested and involved.
Yeah.
And you're encouraging them to do better. Mm-hmm.